ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for the delay. I was having some problems back here behind the scenes a little bit. Got what next Gen 720, got a new addition to my family. This little motherfucker. Got a little kitten. A little motherfucker running around here somewhere. He might make a guest appearance. I got an all fucking black cat. Believe it or not, got a kitten. He's about 4 weeks old. Little motherfucker won't eat cat food. All he would eat is table food. Man, I'm trying to transition this little motherfucker. Start eating cat food, canned food. Like he will only eat. I got fucking force feed with goddamn cat food. Like I don't give a fuck if it's a bagel or French fry. The cat would eat that instead of fucking cat food. But listen, I'm live now. How does my mic sound? You know what I mean? Let me unmute myself. I got fucking force feed with goddamn cat food. Oh, I sound right. I'm using a new headset here. I was wondering how it sounds. So anyway, okay. First of all, shout out. What's up there, everybody? My last post was Wednesday, the Xbox Beast Fire show. A lot of new subscribers, a lot of new viewers. Thank you guys for coming by and checking out. Like I said, Xbox Beast Fire. You guys know I do, of course, BGST. I have Xbox Beast Fire, which is different from BGST, a different format and how we do it. And then, of course, later on today, I have the multiplayer podcast, which I take people from the comment section, people from with smaller channels or brands than myself. Just like I said, reach out to different people to get people's different opinions on said gaming and using my platform to express their views and stuff on gaming. Now listen here, we got about 40 people, which like I said, did about 50 or 60 before I start. I don't have much time because, like I said, and again, I have to start getting ready for the multiplayer podcast. But it's been some crazy. Shout out to Video Gamer. I'm looking in the comments section. Of course, my man Protos X, man. Like I said, some real shit. Protos X. I don't even know what platform you prefer, but you're in all like the videos and the podcast. Like I said, first of all, shout out to you for rocking out with me and crap and whoever else, you know what I mean? Just thank you for your support. Some real shit though. Like I said, I don't know what your preferred platform or choice is, doesn't even matter. Thank you for, like I said, rocking out with me in everything that I do. And it's a big misconception. Like I said, I'm just gonna shoot the shit before I start talking about what's going on and what's been going on with me for the last 2 days. It's crazy as hell. People, how should I say? People who don't tend to know don't mean you guys know me personally, but think that I only want pro Xbox people. No, it's not like this. At the end of the day, how should I say this? Anybody and everybody that rocks out with me, you know what I mean? Like I said, we can all agree to disagree. Like I said, on this channel here, just give you my opinion. And like I said, I'm very thankful to all you guys that rock out with me. And who gave me a voice within this community. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm bigger or I'm better than anybody. I'm not one of those type of YouTubers. Some of these motherfuckers get on YouTube and think they're Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? I know without my viewers and my audience, I'm nothing. Not that I'm nothing, but within this community. Like I said, I'm very, very thankful and appreciative of that. You know what I mean? Like I am. You know what I mean? So I'm not one of the ones, if you invite me to a party, I'm not like that. You know what I mean? I really fuck with those that fuck with me. You know what I mean? That's regardless of your platform, and that doesn't matter. We all gamers. You know what I mean? I play and I game on everything. You know what I mean? But sometimes when things like it get kind of lost in translation, I guess, you know what I mean? People think or take me as me being the Xbox quote unquote fanboy, and I don't call Microsoft out for you shitting me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a consumer first. I tell you guys this shit all the time. You know what I mean? I game on everything. You know what I mean? I just prefer the Xbox. That's all. There's nothing wrong with having your preference. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it is what it is. Like I said, we're folding up now. Like I said, I'm about to start today's show. Shadow Man, your ass at. A little motherfucker come when you call him too. Fucking street cat. But anyway, like I said in the day, it's been a wild 3-4 days. Whenever this PlayStation 4 got leaked, whether it was Saturday or was it Sunday, it's been a wild few days. You know what I mean? To give you a break, not even a breakdown, but something that I've been saying, and it dawned on me about 2 weeks ago. I said, going back to what I know right now, you know what I mean? Well, just going back and looking at E3, you see that Sony's, that last 15 minutes of the show, most likely they probably would have showed the quote unquote the PlayStation 4 Slim, which we see now, and probably the Neo with the last 15 minutes of the show. But they didn't do that. And Microsoft really caught them off guard. With announcing the Xbox One S. Not just it being an Xbox One S and it being a smaller, slicker console, the fact that Microsoft were adding the 4K features to the console, and which, and again, even though you do have Nintendo, that's also in the gaming market, but Nintendo doesn't traditionally compete against Microsoft and Sony. And I wish that they would. It would make it a much more interesting console race. You know what I mean? The big three really competing, and lobbying for all our dollars. So it was normally Microsoft versus Sony. So Microsoft came out, like I said, again, announced the Xbox One S. And like I said, unless you're new to my channel, you don't know something that I've been saying on this channel, and crapping them, they felt a certain type of way, Tim and all those guys, and they all feel the way I feel now, that Microsoft had to announce the Scorpio. Why? Because like I said in the day, I didn't think the Slim was going to do as well as it's doing now. Because like I said, as far as the 4K streaming and 4K, I mean, that to me that was a no-brainer. But the fact that they gave us the option, or gave to upscale your games, to 4K, not native 4K, but as far as the gaming, I didn't see that coming. So that's the reason why, again, I bought the Xbox One S. But like I said, here's the thing, like I said, so I was saying, to those guys, or was very vocal, that a Slim really does nothing because you have your biggest competitor, which is Sony, who's going to be coming out with a more powerful Neo. You know what I mean? So they had to show the Scorpio. But me not even thinking about Microsoft again. Oh, I got the cat right here. Oh, he ran from me. Come here, little motherfucker. Say hi. I'm turning the camera on now. Being that, like I said, and again, when Microsoft announced the S, I think that more or less caught Sony off guard more than the Scorpio, because with Microsoft announcing the S and with the 4K features, they basically took, well, we see now what Sony's going to do with the PlayStation 4. Look at this little black motherfucker here, man. Little as hell, right? Call this little motherfucker Shadow Man. This little motherfucker head on. Like, he won't eat no fucking cat food. Like, I gotta force it down his mouth. Fuck some my cat food now. Like, he would eat a fucking bagel with cream cheese there before he eats some fucking cat food. French fries, potato chips. I've never had a cat like this in my life, man. This little motherfucker, besides he's black, my daughter love that little motherfucker to death too. But that motherfucker won't eat no cat food. All right, I'm back off. All right, back to what I was saying. That the Xbox One S caught Sony more off guard than the actual Xbox Scorpio, because again, Microsoft took whatever Sony was going to do, as far as the Neo, being slightly more powerful, but all the 4K features, and Microsoft gave us to that inside of the Xbox One S. Where here's Sony, which is Microsoft's biggest competitor. They don't have any of that shit in their PlayStation 4 Slim, in their introduction console. So here you have the Xbox One S for $300, and you're getting some 4K features. Where here's Sony, they have their introduction console with the PlayStation 4 Slim or whatever. Right now, the going around price for the PlayStation 4 is $350. I say probably they're going to give it a $50 price cut and knock it down to $300. But their $300 goddamn entry-level console doesn't have any 4K features. So comparing the two, the Xbox One has a much better value. S has a much better value. The streaming in 4K, if Netflix and stuff. The Blacklist, watching that. I love that fucking show. That Stranger Days or whatever the fuck, the little girl got the powers. I love that show. But anyway, it's a lot of Netflix has a lot of 4K content also. But also you're getting the 4K Blu-ray, and you're able to upscale your games to 4K. And then you have Sony's biggest, their flagship console, which is the PlayStation 4. They're remodeled with the Slim, and it doesn't have any of that shit in it. So at the start of the generation, here it is, Sony had the better, we say quote unquote, the better hardware. So some would say, it was more powerful hardware. Now here's Microsoft. They changed the game, and by them giving the Xbox, so they made it slightly more powerful. The Xbox One slightly more powerful, but giving it this 4K abilities took it to a whole different level. So listen, I didn't think about this before. But here's, I say this, like here it is, like I said, you got Sony's flagship console, they, you know, it was already sleek and people saying it was already slim, but parts do become cheaper for a while, you know what I mean? So they're able to, by them putting it in a small, but actually save them money. But I want to be clear this. It wouldn't have cost them that much more financially to add a 4K, let's say Blu-ray player. I think it's like a $10 chip. Literally, I was watching when those tech video teardowns and stuff, and they was talking about Blu-ray to, you know, Ultra HD Blu-ray and stuff. He's talking about it's like a chip or whatever the hell. It's like a $10 chip, literally. I bullshit you not. So it was something like Sony could have done. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, like I said, you look at the Xbox One S, and those are still being sold at a profit for Microsoft. You know, for Microsoft, you know what I mean? But I don't want to talk about money, profit, and stuff like that. But again, I want to be clear of this. This is huge. And again, you know, I mean, of course, we know the Scorpio. And the Scorpio, like I said, I don't think that caught Sony by surprise. Because, like I said, in the day, I heard about new consoles, and I'm not within the industry. Like I said, you know, if you don't know, if you're new to my channel, I've been talking about this for a while when no one else believed, and everyone said I was fucking crazy. So I'm quite sure if I heard about that, I'm quite sure Sony heard about it, and within the industry. You understand what I'm saying? They knew the Scorpio wasn't coming out this year. They also knew what AMD was working on, whether Zen, Vega, with stuff like that. And they knew that Microsoft wasn't releasing the Scorpio this year. So I mean, again, this Sony's in business. You know, they got to know what the fuck's going on. So hey, here, the Scorpio's coming out next year. So Sony knew that the Microsoft next console was going to be more powerful than their console. Like I said, it was told to me, like I said, when it comes to hardware, Microsoft won't get outgunned again. You know what I mean? That was just the word around town within people within the loop. Just to say that right there. Now, but what I do think caught them off guard was the Xbox One S. Now, again, not only did Microsoft, you know, make the console smaller, make it sleeker, they also added 4K capabilities to this console. What it is, you have your PlayStation 4 Slim, doesn't have any of that. Not only that, they also removed the optical drive, you know, port, you know what I mean, from the back, not the drive, I'm sorry, to use a fiber optic cable, you know, which I don't understand what was the rhyme and reason behind that, you know what I mean? Like literally, I don't know. Like I said, that's not, I mean, far as cost wise, maybe something like 10 cents or something. You know, I've always gave Nintendo shit for not including internet ports on their console to the motherboard. And now those ports are like 25 cents. Like, I don't understand Sony's reasoning behind doing that. I understand you can use the HDMI, but a lot of headsets, such as the Astros and stuff, go through the fiber, you know, I mean, go through the fiber, the optical port, you know what I mean? In the back of the goddamn console. So it doesn't have that. So a lot of people saying, well, you know, Sony's going to probably drop it down to 250. No, I don't see. You know, it's still now. Maybe if this thing had a 200 gig hard drive, and I know hard drives, and these companies tend to confuse the public, not trick them and saying why these consoles may cost more because it's a bigger hard drive. No, hard drives are very cheap. I got a 3 terabyte external drive for the Xbox One S. For my Xbox One, I paid $40 for that. You know, you gotta realize Microsoft, Sony, they buy this shit in bulk. So trust me, if a console is $50 or $100 more, it's not because of the hard drive side. I was trying to, me and crap was going back and forth a while ago, and it's not because of the hard drive size. It's not. I mean, they do that to look at what Microsoft did last generation. Remember the 360 came out with a 20 gig hard drive. That shit was like $100. You went to buy that shit externally, you know what I mean, separately. But it's not because of the hard drive side. I mean, they do that shit, you know, to charge us for it, but it's not because of that. But back to what I was saying. So what this video really is about, like I said, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? A lot. So again, I want to say this. For those of you that know me, you've been rocking out with me for a while, when I'm on Twitter, I'm always interact with you guys. I've always said that, I'm not one to hero or idol worship, whether it's Phil and Greenberg, whoever. I barely tweet any of those guys. Rarely, you know, tweet any of those guys. You know what I mean? Because again, I look at it like this. I know they get 1,001 tweets on Twitter. Should I do? And I'm no fucking nobody. So I can imagine what the type of tweets and all this shit that they get throughout the day. You know what I mean? Second, for those you know, I am very respectful on Twitter. I don't troll anybody. I mean, again, if you come talking shit to me, I talk shit back to you. But I've never said anything rude to any execs, any whether you know what I mean, whether it's EA, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't like when it's done to me. You know what I mean? So like I said, you know, first of all, I'm a fucking grown ass man. You know what I mean? I'm not some 15-year-old kid going through fucking puberty, and it's something that's been I would say an unpopular, I can say, a video game decision from by one of these companies is gonna make me be disrespectful towards somebody. Like, no, it's not that serious to me. This is my hobby, not my life. You know, I mean, it's important that I tell you this. You know, I mean, you see where I'm going. Like I said, I'm very respectful to everyone. This as a man, period. I respect everybody. This is just me. You know what I mean? Forget the character of Next Gen 720 and you see me bugging the fuck out. You know I don't conduct myself like that. It's not that serious to me. You know what I mean? So like I said, when it comes to, you know, me tweeting people within the industry and stuff like that, I don't really do it. Now, have I met friends and have I met people and stuff like that within the industry? Yes, I have. I make no gripes or quarrels about any of that. Yes, I have. Okay. Okay. Now, with that being said, I was blocked. Listen, again, like I said, you know, I was blocked by Yoshida when the PlayStation 4, you know, around in 2013. And again, when I say I'm very respectable, I wish I could probably go back and find the tweet. It was that the PlayStation 4 was at one of these events, and just say maybe Gamescom or something, or Comic Con. So it was somewhere, and they had the PlayStation 4 in an encasing, a plastic case, I guess was the one still or whatever. It was at one of these shows, right? And the PlayStation 4 had a red line across. So, you know, just me being a consumer, it had nothing to do with any pony or console war shit. I just asked them, like, hey, you know, does this red line mean that the console's overheating? I got blocked. I bullshit you not. When I say that was that was it. Like, I don't know, now some people go back and find old tweets and all that shit. And I don't know if you want to go dumpster diving through my shit. I had 2005. That's my Twitter handle. And that was the extent of what I said to him. And I got blocked. Do I care? No, it didn't. But it didn't bother me. But that was it. You know what I mean? I've had disagreements with Phil Spencer. I had disagreements with Aaron Greenberg. You know what I mean? You know, about the Fable situation. Like I said, those, you know, I'm not a big Halo guy. I love and I enjoy Fable. You know, Fable, believe it or not, is what made me an Xbox fan. You know what I mean? It wasn't Halo, it was Fable. You know what I mean? So with Microsoft, you know, they can, of course, close Lionhead Studio, which I still think is a big fucking mistake. And, you know, and even if they were going to stop production on Fable Legends, you know, I was very vocal about that because, you know, and people, you know, again, I understand this is business, but people act like, I will say this, Phil Spencer wasn't always the head of Microsoft. Hear me out. Phil now has Don's job, but Phil wasn't the janitor. Phil had Aaron's job. Phil had Aaron Greenberg's job, you know, the head of Microsoft Games and stuff like that. That was his job. So, you know, it was Phil who took this idea from Lionhead Studios or whatever, you know, took that to Don Matcher, got the check for them to start working on Fable Legends instead of just doing a Fable 4, you know what I mean? You know, so it's like they failed to have any decision. It was bullshit, you know. The public, us, the fans, we just wanted a Fable 4, you know what I mean? And then they came with all this, you know, Windows 10 stuff, and we're going to be able to play with them. And again, Lionhead Studio, like, there's a lot of stuff come out, you know, and people talk. It's not something they wanted to do as far as PC, you know, with that end because of cheating and stuff. And the way those games are set up, you got to get to a certain point to get more money. Think of it like you're playing a racer out running the arcade. You got to get to a certain checkpoint to get more time to keep racing. The same thing with those games like that. The way that it became set up, that they had to get to a certain point to get more money to keep moving. You know what I mean? But they had to stop doing, you know, making the game to add all this Windows 10 shit and get. And then, of course, they couldn't make the goal. And I was thinking it was fucked up that they just canned everyone lost their job. And the way that it happened, they found out on the fucking social media. You know what I mean? So again, I listen, I'm not one that's in some grand illusion to think that Phil, Microsoft, and those guys are my friend personally. No, do they know who I am? Yes, I do. Have I spoken to them before? Several times. You know what I mean? I know, like I tell you guys again, you'd be surprised who watches the videos. your videos, like this their job, you know what I mean? It's more or less to interact with the fans and just that. So I'm not someone that have these grams of thinking that Phil and Aaron, my best buddies and stuff. No, I'm a fucking dollar sign. I am a consumer. You know what I mean? I know what it is. And I listen, I personally, I don't get caught up in thinking that they're my friends and stuff like that. If they follow me on Twitter, if they don't, listen, it's not a big deal to me. You know what I mean? I remember Mooch just went through some shit a little while ago. You know what I mean? Not to go, and you know, again, me personally, I guess I don't think that they're my friends, so it doesn't bother me. You know, whether they tweet me back, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so you know, so I know at the end we are all just dollar signs to these companies. I get it. So for people, like I said, and again, like I said, I want to say this. Like I said, I had things that I didn't like. And again, that's not my company, you know. But like I said, I've been vocal about a lot of things I didn't like at Microsoft. If it was true about them not wanting to cast a black actor in Fable or something that I spoke out against, like I said, you know, but like I said, I'm very respectful. The reason why I'm going on this long tangent, like, you know, even though I had disagreements, things I didn't like, I'm not disrespectful. You know, I mean, I'm not that type of guy. You know, again, so again, Colin Moriarty, you know what I mean? They're crapping them and Mooch and Phil. I mean, crap, Mooch, Tim. They more follow like, you know, what they say on IG and this, that, and the other. I've always been from the mindset that, you know, once I see as this console thing started to begin, how I've seen how unfair and how biased IGN was. And this is what you had the interception of Next Gen 720 now in BGST. I said I just felt like the Xbox brand wasn't getting a fair shake. I knew that they had a personal bias back then when they said the PlayStation 4 version of Call of Duty looked better, you know, and stuff. I'm sorry, they're going to give the edge to the PlayStation 4 version because it was in 1080p. It just looked sharper. When in fact, the version that they were playing was in 720p. It didn't get a patch to become 1080p until after the launch of the game. So when they were saying shit like that, I'm like, oh, and then they didn't even do a retractment and nothing. I said, oh shit, these motherfuckers. I said, oh, the fix is in. The fix is in, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. So I guess I really don't watch this shit. You know, I really, really don't. A lot of guys, you see what IGN said, I tell you Xbox fans stuff, it's us that pays their bills. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Not saying we want to lose their jobs, but me personally, and I'm not claiming to be a part of the media. No, I'm not. But I always, like I said, hold them to a higher standards, whether it's GameSpot, whoever, game trailers, because gamers, you know, forget this console worship that goes here on YouTube. Take it. But you had certain people, you know, whoever may go to these sites to get a honest opinion over a set product, a game, or a console. You know what I mean? But when you know what I mean? And I feel like they should be non-biased as possible. They shouldn't have a dog in this fight. You know what I mean? And some of the things that were said by Greg, you know, those guys. Well, yes, no, yeah, you know, after the launch of it, but yeah, we're gonna win. What do you mean we? With that, when you start working for Sony, you're supposed to be a non-biased entity. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So one of the guys in BGST may have been Tim, may have been Moochie, may have been Cliff. I don't remember. I know it wasn't Show. Because we usually talk behind the scenes before we go live, and they were saying that Colin was like, "Yeah, man, fuck this. I don't give a fuck." This was exact a tweet. I'm a paraphrasing here, and I don't want to put any words in this man's mouth. He said, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you guys say or something. I'm buying that PlayStation 4 Slim day one." Now, I doubt if he has to buy one, he would get one free from Sony to unbox or whatever he does, you know, which is cool. And again, there's nothing wrong with him liking the product. I'm not saying that. Nothing wrong with him liking the product, right? But I remember some of the things that they were saying that got brought to my attention. About Microsoft confusing the customer, right? By announcing an Xbox One S and then talking about a Scorpio, that's going to confuse the consumer and yada, 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 right? Now, when it comes down to Sony, to them releasing 2 new consoles with SKUs in 1 year, it's not confusing anymore. But we're going to put that aside, right? So, again, I asked him, very respectful. I said, what's going on? I even called him, bro. Hey, bro, I said that you're excited about, you know, the PlayStation 4 Slim. What are your thoughts on its lack of 4K? What are your thoughts on its lack of 4K features? When I say that was it, that was it. If you go back to BGST, you look, you know, I actually tweeted him live during the show. Live on the show. Didn't say anything negative to him. They say I didn't even say anything bad about him on the show. Because again, I really don't. I know who he is. I'm not gonna sit and say I don't know who he is. but I don't follow him. Like, I wasn't even following him on Twitter. I just, I wanted to see what, honestly, just, what was his, and again, you can say, man, I just prefer the play, and there's nothing wrong with that. I prefer the Xboxes, but I also said, and again, I didn't have any interest in buying the Xbox One. It was just going to be an Xbox One S, Xbox One in a smaller console. I didn't, no, I wouldn't have bought it. I'm just being real. I didn't have any, but the fact that, it was giving me a 4K Blu-ray player. Okay, cool. I'm saying, I know the Neo was coming. I'm going to buy that. Cool. But when it was giving me the 4K upscaler, as far as the games that I have now, that's what made me buy an Xbox One S. Okay. That's me. I said on the air, I didn't have any interest in buying the Xbox One S. I understand it was going to give me a 4K Blu-ray player. Believe it or not, that wasn't even it. You know what I mean? Because I know the Neo was coming out, and I'm quite sure that they were going to offer. I'm sorry, I'm quite sure that they was going to have a 4K Blu-ray player in that, and also the HDR, that, and the 4K. That's what sold me on the Xbox One S. Oh yeah, and again, like I said, I was very respectful to the dude, and I want to say this, not that I'm bitching or I'm moaning, but it's some other shit that went on behind the scenes too. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, all I said was, dude, like, man, I even called him, bro, like I said, as non-threatening as possible. I wasn't. Now, sometimes a motherfucker may ask you something on Twitter or whatever, like, oh, what are your thoughts on this exposed? It wasn't even that type of tweet. I just wanted his honest opinion of, what he thoughts on, the PS4, PS4 Slim Black or 4K features and HDR, and he blocked me. I'm like, the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Somebody else told me, like, I forget, I'm not even gonna say that. But anyway, I just like, come on, like, come on, what the fuck, you? Like, really? Like, come on, man. Is it that serious? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. But if you think, some people like to say that, on BGST, don't get me wrong, 90% of the shit is for entertainment, but there's a lot of truth in what we say. If you don't think there's a media bias out here, it is. It is. You know what I mean? That's nothing to, and again, people tweet me all day. I got PlayStation guys that tweet me all day, and we always go back and forth and shoot the shit. Only time I block someone personally, if you just being disrespectful, you say something racist or something like that, then I block. I don't care if you say, hey, next gen, the Xbox One is shit. Like, that's your opinion. Like, I don't work for Microsoft. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Expose and like, I don't care. I don't work for Microsoft, so you're not exposing me, or what the hell are you exposing? I prefer the Xbox. It's cool. That's just my, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not claiming to fucking work at Microsoft. I don't have any stock in anything shit at Microsoft. But again, to say, or for people to say, that we were crazy to say that there are some media biases when it comes to the PlayStation. And again, you are, as a, wherever you're from, you are right to have your personal opinion. We are all biased, you know what I mean? But I'm not representing the public entity here, you know what I mean? It's just me and my small channel. And I'll let you know from the rip and from the gate that I prefer the Xbox, you know what I mean? But again, like you said, when you work for the IGNs, the Kotakus and stuff, because us gamers and who are paid them, our clicks on their stuff is us that, it pays them, you know what I mean? And if you're a gamer or a consumer, you should have the right to go to one of these outlets and get a non-biased, review or something, not with their personal opinion and stuff twisted all in it, whatever you may have towards Microsoft. One of those guys said, another one at IGN, Tim said, that he tweeted out, he wished Microsoft would have got into gaming. So how, like, again, I don't understand that, you know what I mean? So even for that guy to say that, you wish Microsoft never got into gaming and this, that, and the other, like, for what? I mean, again, now what happens on the PC side, and fuck all the conspiracies about, about Bill Gates and put malaria and Planned Parenthood. We all have all the fucking, the stories about fucking Bill Gates. We're just talking about as far as gaming. And I look at gaming, and I look at what Sony has bought the gaming. I look at what Nintendo has bought the gaming. Look at what Sega has bought the gaming. And when I say is this, I'm just looking back as, whatever platform. Let's look at all of what Microsoft has bought the gaming. I don't, whether you like their exclusives, that's neither here nor there. But just talking about online. I know they wasn't the first console to go online, but they took what was there and they added to it. Voice chat mandatory in every game. A friends list. Achievements or trophy. You know what I mean? Just look at all of a hard drive. Remember when the first Xbox came out? I had a hard drive. I put the goddamn, I could put music CDs in there, rip them to the hard drive, and have them play while I'm playing my games. Just look at like the different things that they brought to gaming. You know what I mean? And looking at what Sony, what the things that they brought to gaming, like they took this to the next level. Here you had Nintendo, they saved gaming from the Atari. What happened? But there was just the Atari. It was a bunch of shit games. Shovelware that released on those consoles. A game that comes against, I think it was E.T. was a big, because E.T. was huge, but they had very shitty software, very shitty games. How would they get you to buy these games back on the Atari thing where they have a nice box art, and when you get the game, but you understand what I'm saying? It was just shit. You know what I mean? So like I said, Nintendo did save, gaming back then. They had a level of, of, I guess, quality control. You know what I mean? They didn't want a bunch of shit shovelware. Not saying you didn't have shitty games that released on the NES, but developers could do too many like the cash grabs and stuff, and it became that Nintendo kind of had a headlock on gaming. And a lot of shady business practices. You couldn't release a game on another platform first, whether it be the turbo graphics. That's why a lot of those consoles and stuff didn't thrive, because they didn't have great third-party support. They didn't. Nintendo had it in a fucking headlock, Then, the Sega man, let's be honest here, just spec-wise and far as performance, the Sega Master System was a much better console than the NES. It is. I mean, there's no, it is, you know what I mean? But like I said, what kept Nintendo thriving, because they had all of the fucking support, like I told you guys again, some of Nintendo's best games were made by Nintendo, like Contra, fucking Castlevania, Rain King, Double Dribble, like all the Tecmo Bowl, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Sims, Double Dragon, all those games were made by Nintendo. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, when I say that, who you guys say, who buys a Nintendo platform for third? Like, what are you talking about? And that's the craziest shit in the world. I remember some of the greatest games wasn't made by Nintendo. But getting back to what I was saying, so to not, I guess, still being denied that it not being a public, not a public. There's in the media's biases. It is what it is, man. Like, there's no denying it. You know what I mean? Like I said, to me, am I losing any sleep that this guy blocked me? No. You know what I mean? Again, some people may, go by their title. Oh, he's butthurt because he Colin. No, I've never. I mean, again, it's not. I don't know the guy. You know what I mean? But I just know, like, just say if I was who I am, or just say if I was a big fan of his, or whatever the fuck, or whatever. I don't know the name of the damn show he does now. If I was a supporter of them, like, you don't shit on your fan base. You don't do that. Like, that was no reason to block someone. You know what I mean? And I know my brand is nowhere as big as his, and I wouldn't do that. Me being this little to someone of you guys that rock out with me. Like, look at Amaziago. He's here, fucking show at the fucking show, right? It's like me blocking him because he doesn't agree with something I said over the PlayStation, whatever. You know what I mean? We all are entitled to our opinions. I just don't go around fucking blocking people. As long as you, like I said, as long as you're very respectful, and we can all agree to disagree. But when I say my tweet to him was like, bro, it was like the Pope tweeting or something, the Cardinal or the Archbishop, the Archdiocese of the fucking Catholic Church. Like, it was like literally nothing aggressive, nothing trolling. I said, bro, I want, I see that you're excited, for the PlayStation 4 Slim. What are your thoughts on, the console of the PS4 Slim lack of 4K features? Whether it's gaming, streaming, and this, that, and still, it doesn't have any. I know some guys said, wait till Sony announce it, but there have been unboxings, even boot up videos, which is Sony being shitty. Sony, they're fucking snatching down people's videos, hitting it with kind of, copyright claims and some shit like that. Like, that's crazy as hell. I even, just for shits and giggles, I just changed the thumbnails of my videos because I didn't want any shit from Sony. I had, when the Street Fighter 5 got announced, and of course we all did videos, I know I had got hit with a copyright strike because I used the thumbnail of Street Fighter 5. Then after it came out, then they took it up. Like, come on, that's fucked up. Like, you don't do that, man. Like I said, this here is, believe it or not, are a lot of people's business. This is their livelihood. Before, I never looked at this YouTube stuff as a business, and not saying I have a huge channel or making lots of fucking money, But whatever I was using to take care of my family, Sony, like, they're snatching people videos down, and like they did the same shit with fucking No Man's Sky. They even did the shit to the No, and they didn't. All they did was use the content. I mean, the videos that were already out there. They didn't even use any shit of any new gameplay. And for anybody that had, how should I say, bad opinions about No Man's Sky, before because a lot of people they got their hands on the game before the game came out. I mean, people weren't even putting up gameplay. I'm not saying people didn't, you know what I mean, but they were just snatching people's shit down. Like, that's fucked up. And the same thing with the my man Dean, the tech guy, he got hit with a copyright Sony. You know what I mean? Because it's not even Sony's video. That's the crazy part. There's a video of a gentleman unboxing a PlayStation 4 Slim. We all seen the video, you know what I mean? And not even booting it up. And I think Dean it had 5 seconds of that video. And Sony fucking claimed this video, claimed this whole entire video. Like, that's crazy as hell. What's my man name? Stone Fox Media. Same thing. Sony did the same thing. I think he may have 5 seconds of the video of the PlayStation 4 booting up. And Sony claimed his fucking video. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, like I said, the PlayStation 4 Slim doesn't have any. It still has HDMI 1.4. It does not even have HDMI 2.0. Like I told you guys, she said I was wrong. Then back then, even in 2014, the vice president of Netflix said both Microsoft and Sony were releasing 4K capable consoles, and were forced to take advantage of 4K media. When these consoles first came out, both even Albert Pinello, one of the guys, said that the original Xbox can handle 4K content, which they could, you know what I mean? But Netflix and stuff, just say Netflix, the hugest, they wanted these consoles to have HDMI 2.0, because for piracy, because people, they have a machine now. My uncle has one where you can rip shit from Netflix. You can actually record stuff from Netflix and stuff. So that's the reason why you don't have any 4K stuff on your original, as far as Netflix on your Xbox One or your PlayStation 4 for security reasons. You know what I mean? They wanted it to be HDMI 2.0. But anyway, back to what I was, my initial statement before I went on a tangent here. I just think that's wrong. You know what I mean? Now, again, I've asked, I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to go, because the guy did come back to me and apologize. So I said I was going to do a video on this yesterday, but my allergies got the best of me, and I just got in the funk mood. But it wasn't just Colin that blocked me. It was another, somebody pretty well up there that's a part of the media. I'm just going to say that. And I asked him, because the reason why I asked him, again, because one of you, again, said I wasn't following any of these guys personally on Twitter and stuff, but a lot of times when they say stuff, and a lot of you guys that rock out, when you send me things that they say, whether on Twitter or Facebook, look what they said. It's not, what I mean? And a lot of you guys are starting to point out the non-bias. Before it was just me, some of you guys said I was crazy with a tinfoil hat on, but a lot of you guys, you send me stuff. And this other guy, big guy with millions of followers, and he was another one that was saying that Microsoft they're confusing the consumer, and that by them announcing the Xbox One S, and then it doesn't make any sense. Now and then we see the PlayStation 4 Slim. It's real. I mean, it is what it is, and he's in high praise of what Sony's doing. And he's another one. I said, bro, you know what I mean? What are your thoughts on Sony not having, any 4K features in the PlayStation 4 Slim? Because also, the reason why I say this, he was another one that was saying it's like a no-brainer for them not to do it. You know what I mean? And now it's out and it's not happening. He's still saying, oh, this thing is beautiful. It's a win-win by Sony. You know what I mean? And I asked him, there's another one that I asked. And like I said, the reason I'm not saying his name, because he did, not again, you know who you are. He doesn't owe me any apologies. I'm not saying I want anybody to kiss my ass, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, you know what I mean? And I'm going to go on a record and say that maybe Sony sometimes greases a lot of these people palms that are high up to you know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm not making it is what it is. You look back in IGN, you look at the launch of the PlayStation 4, right? And those guys got all engraved PlayStation 4s with their name on it. It is what it is. Like, with their name, sign, and shit on it. Like, this is a fact. They was up there kissing their PlayStation 4s all on fucking TV and shit. You can look this shit up for yourself. But again, I asked this guy here. I said, "Yo, bro, you know what I mean? What are your thoughts on it not having any 4K content?" Well, that's not really important. Like, huh? Bro, like, you know what I mean? This shit is crazy as hell, man. Then it went on for him saying that, well, the Scorpio is not going to be true 4K 60. Now, let me be clear this, even with that. Let me be clear this, you know, because I've never been one to say that every game on the Scorpio is going to be 4K 60. Now, Microsoft has made these bold claims, said, you know, Albert Pinello, that the console was made, you know, to take advantage of 4K 60, you know. But what I've always said, which should be the only argument, is that games will run at a higher, you know, will run better, multi-platform, run and look better on the PlayStation 4, on the Xbox Scorpio or Project Scorpio compared to the PlayStation Neo. Not the Xbox Scorpio compared to a PC. We're just talking about consoles here. So again, how they're still trying to fucking move the goalposts and change the narrative, okay? Because this generation has been the Xbox One games and fucking PlayStation 4 games. Not the PlayStation 4 games compared to PC. No, we're talking about two consoles. Because when games sometimes, or, you know, let's look at this shit here. How we talking about this narrative, all right? You guys, a lot of these public syndications, they make quick to say, well, another game that's 900p on the Xbox One, right? They're quick to point that out, right? But when the same said game is 900, no, not the same game, but a different game is 900p on the PlayStation 4, it's not a big deal. They like to go back and point. So, well, you know, guess what? They would like to go back and point and say, well, look, another game is 720p on the Xbox One. But that same game, only one I can say is different is Call of Duty, but that happened since then, to my knowledge. But even when that game is 720p on the Xbox One, it's not 1080p on the PlayStation 4. It's 900p, or maybe slightly under or above 900p. You understand what I'm saying? So 900p is cool for Sony, then belongs as high. Like it's crazy as hell, man. So again, going forward, you know, no longer, like I said, once the Xbox Scorpio comes out, no longer will Sony have the upper hand in terms of hardware and as far as, you know, having the better version of these multi-plats. You know what I mean? But already they're fucking trying to fucking change the narrative and saying if it's not 4K 60 is a fail. According to these leaked documents from Sony, you know, that came out, whatever, they don't have a fucking 4K buffer on this goddamn console. You know what I mean? They're gonna do some checkerboard shit to get up to 4K. The same with you guys that were, even these sites were talking about quantum breaking it being 720p. Even though the image that came out, you know, was outputted, they used this, you know, this how they put the couple 720p images together, something they really did to get the 1080p. You know what I mean? I forgot what the fuck you call it, but just, you know, not to get too technical, you know, even though it was output in that 1080p, you know what I mean? But the way they did it, a cheap way to go about it, you know what I mean? And the same way they think they're going to do with the Neo, you know, but that's fine. Like I said, the narrative is always changing, man. If upscale, because listen, you guys are downplaying the Xbox One S, which is upscaling to 4K. The same thing that the Neo was going to do, upscale to 4K, right? That's, you know, you can quick to say, oh, it's not native 4K and this, that, and the other, but the Xbox One S is doing the same thing with, you know, with far as resolution that the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to do. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying again that the Xbox One S is as powerful as I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about resolution here. You know what I mean? Just how the Xbox One S has a 4K upscaler, the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to have a 4K upscaler also. You know what I mean? But again, back to my initial statement, now, like I said, it makes sense. It wasn't the Scorpio that fucked Sony up at E3. Because you look at the last 15 minutes of the show, they just went back to the same game they were playing earlier and showed you extended demo. It was the Xbox One S that dropped the bomb in Sony lap, because again, Microsoft took Sony's mid-gen cycle implements and just added that to the Xbox One S as far as giving it the 4K capabilities. Now here is Sony, you know, because they were going to show that Slim there at E3. It's a no-brainer. We see it now. It makes sense now. And then we're going to show you the Neo. But how can they show the PlayStation 4 Slim with no 4K features? And here's Microsoft gave you the Xbox One S with 4K features. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't the Scorpio, because again, Sony knew the Scorpio was coming. Okay? They knew the Scorpio was coming. You know, I guess it was. And again, you can check my track record. Okay, you know, I'm the same person that told me about DirectX 12 coming to the Xbox One. And now sometimes I know it's like a broken record again, but I say this again because a lot of people are new to my channel and they don't know. I was talking about DirectX 12 on the Xbox One back in December, I believe, of December, November of 2013. And I got called anything but a child of God. Microsoft didn't announce the X12 on the Xbox One until March GDC 2014. So I was talking about that shit in December. And the same person told me about DX12 was the same person that told me about these new consoles that were coming out. Not only that, he said that probably when it comes to hardware, Microsoft won't get outgunned again. So again, Sony knew the Neo wasn't going to be much more powerful than what Microsoft was working on. What Sony didn't expect was for Microsoft to put their 4K features, upscaler, and this, that, and the other into the Xbox One S. You know what I mean? This fuck Sony up because again, both the Xbox One S and the PlayStation 4 Slim or whatever, those are the introduction consoles into their ecosystem. And here that you have your biggest competitor with a $300 goddamn console. The PS4 is $350. Probably go down to $350. Probably go down to $300. They're two biggest competitors. And here it is in this box here. You're able to take advantage of the 4K content. Now, some of you guys will say, "Well, I don't have a 4K TV." Stop it, man. You know, you're not gonna get one. Stop it. You know, I can see you saying this 2 years ago where there wasn't a lot of 4K content on the market. Netflix prime example. Now we have the 4K Blu-rays that are out. You know, you have different devices. Sony sells one for, you can stream for. There's a lot of 4K content on the market right now, and it's going to continue to grow and grow. And there's, like I said, there's a famous saying: "I'd rather to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it." You understand what I'm saying? The Xbox One S is selling extremely well. You know, extremely well. And listen, I didn't think it was going to do as well as it's doing. You know what I mean? And we're going to see this month right here, I guess, is when we're going to see the sales figures from the Xbox One S. While Microsoft won last month, you know, they had a fire sale the Xbox One, the fat one, dropped down to $250. You know what I mean? So, but this month here going forward, we're going to see the adverse effects of the Xbox One S. And there were a lot of people still that are buying the Xbox One S. Now, the 500 gig model just came out yesterday, or I believe, with the Madden bundles and stuff like that, and it's selling extremely well. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are buying it for the 4K Blu-ray player, and the fact that it upscales their games to 4K. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that's not because the boxes are smaller. A lot of people buying this console because of the 4K content. You know what I mean? They are. So, and a lot of people are trying to damage control that, and you can't. It's a dick move by Sony. It's a cheap move. You know, it literally probably would call. You know, what I mean, it's not expensive for them to add the 4K Blu-ray player and stuff to the PS4 Slim. You know what I mean? It's not. Like I said before, if you didn't hear me, I was watching one of those tech video breakdowns, and it's like a $10 chip, literally like a fucking $10 chip to make it an Ultra HD Blu-ray player. Literally, it's not something expensive and stuff. Even the Xbox One S is being sold at a profit. So it's not expensive, you know what I mean? It's not expensive for them to do that. It's just a fucking dick move by fucking Sony. Now, again, this is business, but I just think it's like, it's a no-brainer. Now, just going forward, I won't say this. I think in like throughout this generation, if we're still going to stay in generations or whatever, people are going to own both consoles, whether the PS4 or the Xbox. People are going to own both fucking consoles, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Just like when last generation, most people had the 360 and the PS3. And I've always said going forward, it's going to be the same thing this generation. People are going to own fucking both at the end of the day. But that was fucking ingenious of Microsoft to take Sony. One of the things they were going to be bragging and touting about, one of the reasons why you should get the fucking PlayStation 4 Neo is to take advantage of the 4K Blu-ray player, this, that, and again. And if you think I'm bullshitting, Sony fucking then rules fucking to meet the entertainment industry as far as music and fucking movies. You know what I mean? They fucking run that. You know what I mean? With all the movie, movie studios and the music and stuff. So again, one of the things they were going to be touting about you being able to take advantage of this 4K content. But here's the no-brainer. Again, I'm not saying that it can happen. The PlayStation 4 Neo, as far as HDR, at launch, I don't think it's going to do HDR. I don't, it's not. The reason why I say I'm kind of for sure of this is because there were articles that were on the web about 2 years ago or so that, let's say about a year, at least a year and a half ago, when Phil Spencer and other people were on record talking about HDR, them bringing HDR to Windows 10 and DirectX 12. And there were no articles before we know about the Slims and the Scorpios. I just thought that from reading that the regular Xbox One was going to be able to take advantage of HDR. You know what I mean? I just thought the regular Xbox One, and whatever that came out in the future. There has been nothing said about Sony, as far as HDR. Now, will the PlayStation 4 Neo play HDR as far as movies? I mean, yes. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but I'm talking about as far as gaming, as far as gaming, I don't think that the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to do HDR. Maybe later on in an update, because it is more or less on the software side, so maybe Sony can invest in their tools. I don't know what the fucking the name of the API they use, not OpenGPL, whatever the fuck they use for the PlayStation 4. Maybe Sony can invest in that to enable HDR gaming as far as the big exclusives and stuff. Maybe they will. I don't know. But there's something that, like I said, Microsoft has laid the groundwork for in Windows 10 and DirectX. So that's what I'm talking about. As far as technology and shit, Microsoft is always fucking pushing shit forward. Now everyone's talking about HDR. Everyone wants to say HDR, 4K HDR television. You know what I mean? So again, for people to downplay this, and it's a dick move of the PlayStation 4 Slim not having any 4K features, I think this is, like I said, it's a dick move. It's a dick move. You know what I mean? They could have added it. It should have been there. It should have been. Why? Because your biggest competitor is doing it, first of all. And two, like I said in the day, even though they do have the Neo that's coming out, the Neo was, I think they think that people would, no, I'm sorry, that the consumers, everybody know that the fucking Neo, you're going to have some more powerful console. It's going to, games are going to look better graphically, period. Right. Like, it is what it is. I don't think the consumer is fucking stupid. It's a more powerful goddamn PlayStation 4. Games are going to look better graphically, So for people saying we're really confused the consumer of you got this one having a 4K. No, not really. Because listen, are you confused between the Scorpio and the Xbox One S? No, the Scorpio is going to be a much powerful goddamn console. That's not confusing. So again, how the fuck is the PlayStation 4 Slim and the fucking PS4 Neo? How's that fucking confusing? It's not. It's this fucking damage controller. Sony did a fucking fucked up move, a chink move. They did some bullshit. That was them fucking. You always talking about for the customers, for the consumers. That's fucked up. You know what I mean? The PS4 Slim should have fucking had some 4K features. First of all, it's already goddamn small. It's already fucking slim. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna make it smaller, again, they should have fucking enable the 4K features in it. I mean, and like I said, the initial title of this video here is watch who you say you speak to about that. You know what I mean? Like I say about the narrative, you know what I mean? Because again, these big publishers, like whether it was IG and this, let's see who calls Sony out on this. I'm not talking about the little motherfuckers on here on YouTube, whether it's the Craps, the Tin Dogs, the Moose. Forget us. Let's see who's gonna call Sony out for that. You know what I mean? Here, I just asked Colin again. I said, bro, like I said, wasn't being disrespectful. I see that because his initial tweet was, I don't give a fuck. What did he say? Something. I don't give a fuck. PS4 Slim. So I don't know what was said to him prior to that, but that was the tweet that I think that I replied to. Again, I said, I see that you're excited about the PlayStation 4 Slim, bro. What are your thoughts of its lack of 4K features? And his response was to block me. So like I said, if you those who like to bring back tweets and shit, or maybe I can find my own tweet here. Maybe I'm using this as the thumbnail. And like I said, I'm not those who that know me, follow me on Twitter or stuff. First of all, I barely tweet fucking developers or anything like. Hey, I don't what you call hero idol worship. I don't look at them as celebrities or anything like that. Gaming is a hobby of mine, not my life. Now I'm a little bit more knowledgeable because I've always been a gamer, but I never gave a fuck who made the game. You know what I mean? I never gave a fuck who made the game. I just fucking played the game. I liked it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the only one person I can honestly say that I was a big fan of, like my first developer that I can honestly say that I was a fan of was my man. I'm going to butcher his name. My man that used to work for fucking Tech Mode that did the Ninja Gaidens and the Dead or Alive series on the OG Xbox. Reason and the reason, like I said, I even knew who he was because he just stuck out like a sore thumb. You know, I mean, I was watching like the Spike channel, well, you know, like a couple of those game shows or TV, whatever, back on TV back then in 2000, and it's probably like 2001, 2002, 2003. It was a Japanese guy who dressed like a fucking white boy rock and roller. You know what I mean? He had the fucking leather jacket, black shades and stuff. You know what I mean? And I was a big, of course, Ninja Gaiden on the OG Xbox is a classic. A big fan, still am a big fan of Dead or Alive, the fighting game. And you know, he was the mastermind, you know, behind those games there for being on the OG Xbox. I was a fan of his work. And he sent me a fucking friends request on Facebook. I bullshit you not. He liked a couple of my pictures. I didn't even know who the fuck he was. I'm sorry. I know who he was. But when I clicked, I didn't know it was a real him. So when I clicked on the actual profile, I could see it was actually him. And, you know, and he said, what did he say to me? A couple of you guys saw the fucking thing on Facebook that follow me. He likes it nice. He liked my pictures, and he said, you know, he liked my videos and some shit along those lines like that. I was like, oh shit! It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was elbowing my wife like, oh shit! Look who fucking sent me a friend request on Facebook. Oh shit! I went fucking crazy about it. But I was a big fan of his work. Like I knew who the fuck he was. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said at the end, he looked different. He was like a rock star. Now, I know he got caught up with some bullshit. I'm not gonna speak on it here. It ain't my place. But I was like, damn, Microsoft need to snatch him. Like, you know, they need to acquire him. Like, he's a fucking talent. Now, Devil's Third, that was a dog shit game. I think they have taken the servers that went down already. But I don't know if it was because of the Wii U. Actually, that was going to be an Xbox 360 game. You know what I mean? And the game wasn't good. You know what I mean? And it ended up becoming a Wii U exclusive. But the game, which is a horrible game, from what I heard, you know what I mean, it wasn't that good of a game. But Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, you know, was dope shit. Now, the last Ninja Gaiden that came out, dog shit, horrible goddamn game. You know what I mean? I hope that franchise, you know, can go back to being what it used to be, because that last Ninja Gaiden, that was just horrible, man. That was bad. You know what I mean? Really, really bad. But anyway, I'm about to get the hell up out of here, man. It's been long enough. Just a few things, like I said, I wanted to talk about. He just blocked me, and not just him. I got blocked by somebody else. This guy did come to me and say, you know what, you know, he apologized for whatever reason. But so that's the reason I'm not going to put him on blast or whatever. And even to Colin, I don't have a problem with the guy. Like, and I don't have a problem with him blocking me. But what I'm saying is this: for even for now, I don't give a fuck if you're a PlayStation guy, a Nintendo guy, whatever. You know, even though, you know, we are all biased, but you look at back then, Kim, Gray, or whatever, were part of this big entity as far as IGN, you know. And we said whenever they were back, they were fanboying, like they don't get the Xbox a fair shake. You know what I mean? I've been saying this for a couple of years now, and it's evident now. Yeah, it is what it is. Now, again, you will have the right to like what you want to like. I'm not saying that. We all have our part. And again, I don't want this to go off as saying that he doesn't have the right to prefer the PlayStation. This is what this video isn't about. I'm just saying, when you supposed to be a part of the media, you know, and what gamers, consumers such as myself or you guys come to these establishments for a non-biased review or whatever on the game or a console, you know, and we should get that. These people here shouldn't have a dog in the fight. You know what I mean? What I mean by a dog, and they shouldn't care, you know, who wins this console war, whether it's Microsoft or Sony, or they shouldn't care. You know what I mean? That's all that I'm saying. That's all that I've been saying. You know what I mean? I've never claimed to be an official big part of the media. You know what I mean? I tell you guys that I prefer the Xbox. Not to say that that's just my opinion. You know, I prefer Microsoft ecosystem. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I prefer. Now, here's the thing again. Now, exclusives, I like some of Sony. I like their more Western, you know, American, like, you know, type of exclusives, like, you know, like the God of War. Now, play this, like those Attack of the Titan type games, or Persona 5s, and I don't care for those. You know, though those are not. I don't like those Japanese RPG type games. I don't care for those. Even the Final Fantasies, I don't care for those type games. You know what I mean? Which is cool. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. I just don't care for them. You know, I like, if it's going to be an RPG, more like Fable or Mass Effect. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it can't be no slower than Fable. But I love, like, Mass Effect. I love, how they do the RP with the like. I like that. That's dope to me, And, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, but what I'm saying again is this, what I've noticed here, that it's the cool thing to, slander the Xbox for whatever reason. And again, that's your opinion. But when you are part of the industry with, the media, like from GameSpot, to say that, they didn't like the Xbox One because they couldn't find the settings. Like, what the fuck? Like this is stuff, like, we're not talking about from somebody, we talking about with millions of fucking followers. Like, you know what I mean? You don't like the you're gonna give the nod to the PlayStation because you can't find the settings on the Xbox One. You're not talking about the games. You're not talking about the features. You said you can, because you can't find the settings. You don't like the Xbox One because it got a brick, you got a power supply. Like, some of this shit is crazy as hell. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, it is what it is. He blocked me because I seen that he was so vocal, about Microsoft confusing their customers when it came down to releasing the Xbox One S and the Scorpio. Now here's Sony doing the same thing within the same year, the PS4 Slim and the PS4 Neo. He's all about the Slim. And then he was dogging, like I said, again, we were saying it was a no-brainer for Sony to have that in their console too, as far as the 4K features or whatever. And it doesn't have it. So my question to him was, now, I heard some people, some down Sony fans, say they hate the design of the new PlayStation 4. This is what this video wasn't about. My question was to him, how do you feel about the PlayStation 4 Slim lack of 4K features? Because Xbox One S, PlayStation 4 Slim, these two are competitors, right? PlayStation 4 Neo, Xbox Scorpio, those two are competitors, right? So your biggest competitor, which is the Xbox One S, in the, and your rival, that's the PlayStation 4 Slim, or doesn't have any 4K features. Like damn, like what was up with that? And again, I'll say this again before I get the hell out of here. It wasn't the announcement of Scorpio that caught Sony off guard. It was the announcement of the Xbox One S. You know what I mean? Because, like, again, so much Sony's, I guess, their features they were going to be bragging about, why you should buy the PlayStation 4 Neo. Microsoft just took those same features and put it in their standard console, which is the Xbox One S. Like, that's smart. Like I said, now Microsoft now, for the first time in this generation, are that they're going on the offense and not reacting to whatever Sony's doing, you know what I mean, and defending themselves. They went on the initiative, and I think, again, it's ingenious. I will say this: I wasn't a big fan of just of the Xbox One S, the Slim. I thought it was stupid, you know what I mean? But this is before me knowing about the 4K feature. Now, I kind of knew that it was going to probably stream in 4K, that it may even have a 4K Blu-ray player. Okay, but the 4K upscaler for the gaming and the HDR is what sold me on the Slim. You know what I mean? That's what made me decide to get an Xbox One S. I don't want to. What niggas used to know? Okay, I said that live on air. I've always said that. You know what I mean? Because I thought, like, Microsoft is taking what's wrong, the Xbox One and put it in a smaller box doesn't change anything. But the fact that they gave it HDR and being upscale your games to 4K, and even still yet to be seen. Like I said, again, I don't think the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to have HDR for us gaming. I don't know. The reason why I say that again, I hope it does, but the reason why I say that again, because Microsoft been talking about this for about a year and a half, at least, HDR for us gaming. You know what I mean? How they would, implementing the Windows 10 and DirectX 12. I haven't heard anything from Sony as far as that. And I know Sony does sell 4K HDR televisions, so I do expect the 4K Blu-ray player to support HDR. But I'm talking about as far as gaming, so that's, like I said, yet to be seen. But anyway, this is your boy Next Gen 720. If you're just not tuning into the show, take it back to the beginning. I talked about a few things at the beginning. I'm gonna bring my man, hey, Shadow Man. Watch this little one. I got a kitten. Look, I told this little motherfucker know his name. Look at this shit. He came right to me. Jesus. Usually cats are not smart like this, man. This little motherfucker. Yeah, there we go. He's about 4 weeks old, man, and got him by my daughter's. Oh, let me get the camera. Let me get the camera on. Here we go. Got him over here about, didn't even, by my daughter's house. I had my grandson for the week. About 4 weeks old. This little motherfucker don't like cat food, man. I got a fucking Open his mouth and force him my soft cat food. He eats fucking cheeseburgers, French fries. Fuck, I had a fucking bagel here from Dunkin' Donuts this morning. Ate half my goddamn bagel. Like this little motherfucker. I've never had a cat like this. Little motherfucker eat like a dog. Like, you know what I mean? Using a litter box and everything. I put the little motherfucker in the litter box the first time. He used it, and you know, I guess I'm an animal lover. You know what I mean? I'm an animal lover. But yeah, so this little motherfucker. Because my daughter Maya said, we name him Black Man. I said, nah, we can't call the cat Black Man. I said, no, because I don't want you going to school. Like, you know what I mean? You know, again, and first of all, you know, I ain't nobody's racist, but you know, some things come off a little wrong. You know, shit, my grandfather's white. And, you know, I got a whole white side of my family. I might do a video with some of the motherfuckers too. These some crazy motherfuckers, white side of my family. Forget about it. My grandfather's white and my aunts and all that shit. But I say I don't want her to be in school because all my daughter's classmates, you know, they like white and shit. We in school, like, yeah, my mom, you know, my cat name was Black. I got Black Man, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, this doesn't seem, you know, it's sad to say in this world that we live in right now, 2016. But I just don't want to be in the goddamn class. Someone cat Black Man. You know what I mean? And, you know, so Shadow Man. We agree to Shadow Man. Yeah, Shadow Man right there. But yeah, we out of here, man. And yeah, I had to put my dog to sleep. So I had to have a pet in the house. Ruby, mother put Ruby to sleep, man. She was about she was like 13 years old. No, I'm lying. She's not even that old, man. Ruby's like I want to say 10, but she's a small dog. You understand what I'm saying? I just had a small dog, Fuzzy. That motherfucker lived to be like 21, but she's one of the puppy mill dogs, those designer dogs. You know, when you get from like Shaker Paw, don't ever buy no dogs from them fucking those because they fuck them up. Like they breed the uncle with the sister and this, and you know, this fucked up. You know, but yes, I don't think she's not gonna last that long. She's fucking urinating everywhere. Dog is house trained, but it's fucking piss. She's spayed, so I know she's had paramecia, but I don't know if she has a tumor or something on the bladder. I don't know if she's a fucking diabetic, but I'm gonna take her to the vet Friday. Like I said, you know what I mean? But so I had to bring something else in the house to get my daughter's mind off that. You know what I mean? So it is what. But anyway, it's your boy Next Gen 720. I'm out of here, man. Let me fucking close this camera. All right, close it. Bang. Bang.